Hello, my name is Kayleen Reusser. Welcome to another episode of Stories of World War II Veterans. These are stories that I'll be reading to you each week, taken from books that I have written and based on interviews that I have done with those same veterans. Today's story will be about Arnold Keuneke, who served in Africa. It's taken from my book. This is book one in my World War II Legacies series. We Fought to Win. American World War II veterans share their stories. And as you probably noticed, I do have photos of the veterans on the cover because they are the true heroes. Right. Thank you for all the veterans watching this and your families. I'm a proud Air Force wife and mother, and we would not be free without you. While enrolled at Wren High School in Wren, Ohio, Arnold Keuneke signed up for a correspondence course in electricity. Born in Adams County in Indiana in 1920, he had moved with his family to Ohio as a child. After 2 years, Keuneke dropped out of school. There was nothing left to learn, he said. He continued studying electricity while working at Wayne Knitting Mill in Fort Wayne. In 1941, Arnold married Louise Ensley. The couple lived in Fort Wayne until February 42, when Keuneke was drafted into the U.S. Army. After completing basic training at Camp Crowder in Joplin, Missouri, Keuneke was sent to Midland Radio School in Kansas City, Missouri, a radar school at Camp Murphy in West Palm Beach, Florida, and Drew Field in Tampa. In January of 1943, he and other American troops left on a boat from Port Andrew in New York City for Africa. In Oran, Tech Sergeant Keuneke was attached to the 12th Air Force in the Signal Corps. We were in charge of maintaining a 588 radar unit, he said. Radar systems used 300-foot steel masts to emit radio signals. The radar helped Allied pilots receive signals to alert them about enemy aircraft in the area. Located on a hill over the Mediterranean Sea in the South Tibesa Desert, the unit operated solely under Keuneke's expertise. Part of his tasks required climbing the unit for repairs and working around wiring for bombs. I had no fear of heights, he said. We were careful. He was also available to work with any military branch that needed him on temporary duty. The following year, an assistant trained in radar was assigned to help him manage the large radar station and a smaller one. Keuneke also installed a radar set in B-25 planes. Keuneke was often in the line of fire on the front line but escaped injury. Those bullets didn't have my name on them, he said. Another time, he was not so lucky in escaping injury. While repairing a tire, the seal blew and clipped him in the eye. Keuneke did not seek medical aid at a mobile hospital unit. Instead, he asked the company cook to stitch up the injury. Afterward, he drove a 2.5-ton truck with vision limited to one eye to the port city of Algiers. Malaria was a constant threat for the troops in Africa. When Keuneke and his assistant were advised to swallow pills to prevent the dreaded disease, they did so, but within hours, Keuneke felt sick. He quit taking the medicine and felt better, never contracting the dreaded disease. Unfortunately, his assistant did develop malaria. As there was no hospital around Constantine where they were stationed, the assistant had to endure the illness on his own. Though he survived, he died of malarial symptoms 5 years after the war. From Africa, Keuneke was sent to Pisa and Corsica in Italy. While there, he befriended an Italian family. When he offered candy to their 2 little boys, the parents begged Keuneke to adopt the boys. They were so poor and hungry, and they thought I could provide a better home for their sons in America, he said. Keuneke refused the offer, but was moved by their plight. In August of 1945, the Japanese emperor surrendered, and the war was over. Keuneke had served his country for 3 years and soon received papers to be shipped home. He returned to Norfolk, Virginia on a Liberty ship in September of 1945. He recalled Salvation Army volunteers on hand when his ship came in harbor. They offered us candy and cigarettes, he said. After the war, Keuneke worked at Dana Corporation in Fort Wayne as an electrician. He also operated a farm outside of Columbia City in Indiana. Keuneke and his wife became parents to 5 children. Keuneke brought home 2 unusual souvenirs. Using a pocket knife and hacksaw, he constructed a photo album from parts of a German bomber that was shot down. The album is full of photos taken by Keuneke during his time in service. He also used a metal cup issued to him at Fort Benjamin Harrison to etch names of places he was stationed throughout his military service. And that's the story about Arnold Keuneke, taken from my book, We Fought to Win. American World War II veterans share their stories. This is book 1 in my World War II Legacies series. Each book is large print, and there are dozens of stories of men and women who have served. I do it to promote patriotism in our country. I believe the United States is a great country to live in, and I'm very proud to represent it by interviewing veterans. So I'll look for you next week. Please subscribe, leave a comment, tell others about this station. Thank you.